Welcome to Thrash to the Future.
Okay, it sounded cool in my head, and I thought if I used the voice changer, it would make it sound even better. Okay, maybe not. Anyway, how's it going, everybody? My name is Deke Slayer. It's a pleasure to have you here today for our brand new series that we're starting here on YouTube, Thrash to the Future, with the Atlanta Thrashers using NHL 11. Chose NHL 11 because it is the last year that the Atlanta Thrashers are featured in an EA Sports video game and as video games as a whole. And thought it would be fun to see if we could change history a little bit, to see if we could take the Atlanta Thrashers and make them into, well, a contender and then into a champion. I'm excited to get this going. I will try to keep the edits to a minimum. Mostly, I will try to edit out just kind of loading screens and things like that. We are going to run the distance of this franchise. The plan is to just keep going and see how successful or unsuccessful we can be. We don't have any set rules aside from just finishing out the franchise mode itself. We will make trades, drafting. We'll try and improve our scouting and our pro scouting and everything else as we go. NHL 11 had a different style of like scouting, and you'll see as we get into there how GM mode actually looked back in NHL 2011. So let's go ahead and get started and see what we can do. So welcome to the main hub of Be a GM in NHL 11. So we can see up here the 09-2010 season. We finished 35, 34, and 13. We've got some players we need to re-sign, namely Ilya Kovalchuk. We are going to do our best to get him to be the centerpiece of this team. He is a 91 overall in this game, so we are going to do our best to get him. So let's take a look around, see what we can do. So in order to really do anything, you can do one of two ways. You can press start to see the game menu, and of course you'll get your GM tracker, your calendar, GM options, etc. But what EA did in this version of the game is they added blackberries. Yes, you want to look at your BlackBerry to check certain things, such as your GM tracker. Now, in GM tracker, this is your grade as a general manager. It's basically just how much you've accomplished as a GM, and your grades go up based on how well you do. So we will start at the base, which is a B-. We also have our scouting assignments. Now, our scouts are not that good to start. You can see up there, there's C-, D's everywhere. So it takes a while to get the scouting up to where you want it to be, and I'll show you how you upgrade that. But we're going to get started here. And I'll just go with forwards, and then we'll sort by projection. And let's see if we can find a decent league with some players we might remember or know. Let's see. Anything good out here? Doesn't look like a ton of great names out here. So let's do this. We will go with the WHL, and we'll just let them scout for 3 weeks. I don't think they'll make it that long, so we do have to get up to the draft, so we'll just update it anyway. See what there should be any transaction news. Again, we're just getting started, so there's nothing there. And then we can back out of that. All right, staff upgrades. This is what I want to talk to you guys about. So in NHL 11, you basically assign points to different staff types. So you have your scout, amateur scout, your pro scout, your medical staff, and your assistant coach. We have 10 points to spend, so we can basically put it into our pro scout. So at least we've got something in there. And then we'll just press B to confirm it. And then we'll get more points as the season goes on. Take a look at some contracts here. And again, we're just kind of going through the menus. We've got a couple of guys that we're going to need to re-sign. Ron Hainsey. Burmistrov, McFall, Coper. We're going to have to decide who we're going to keep on this team. The roster is pretty full and shouldn't have a ton of... we've got cap space, and we can make a play, but I think we're going to have to make some cuts here and there as we go along. So our best overall player currently is going to be... I could do that right. Imagine that. Go all the way back up to the top. I believe our best player is not Andrew Ladd, but... Yeah, it's definitely not Eric Kane. Yeah, not him. No, it's Dustin Byfuglien. Sorry. So, yeah, Dustin Byfuglien currently is our best player. We've got a year left on his contract at $3.49 million, and then he'll be an RFA. We will be tendering him a contract offer. Definitely want to bring him back. And then we've also got Kane. Our goaltenders look like this. We have Andrei Pavelec, who grows pretty decently. He kind of grows a decent clip. I did a practice run and got him up to an 84, so we'll see if we can kind of repeat that. and see if we can do a little better this time. In my practice run, I was kind of I goofed off a little bit and tried to sign Steven Stamkos and gave up a bunch of picks for him, and we didn't do well in the second season. But we're not going to do that. We're going to play this. We'll take this a lot more seriously this go around. But here's our roster real quick just so you can kind of see who we've got under contract. So we'll get out of here, and we'll hang up the phone. We'll go ahead and sim up to past the CHL game, Memorial Cup. This is just letting us know that we have no time to waste. You have a full plate as GM right away. This week is the prospects game as well as the rookie draft, and we are expecting you to take a hands-on role in making sure our team does well. Come October, we'll be looking for 42 wins the first year. So no pressure. There's pressure. All right, so we're not going to play this game. I'm going to sim past it. So Lenka, Dunning, Miller, Olette, and Mike Reddington, are the top 5 picks. We are going to be drafting. I'm not going to worry about the trade block right now. We will get into the draft. I think we're drafting 10th, maybe 9th. We are drafting 8th. Well, imagine that. So we can try and make a move here. Now, in order to advance, you have to actually hit A to continue. And then there's no transactions. So we hit A again. And now we get our trade proposals on our BlackBerry. So this is the one from Edmonton. They have the #1 overall pick. So I'm kind of want to see what they want here. So they want Oduya, and they're offering us Dustin Penner. I'm going to decline this because Oduya is actually not a bad defenseman. But what I am curious about is, can we get that #1 pick from them? Or could we get Taylor Hall from them? There's something to think about. Now, got real curious there. I was like, ooh, do we want to make a run for Taylor Hall? An 18-year-old Taylor Hall. Let's see. Just for fun. Let's see if we could offer them maybe Brian Little. It's worth a shot. Do we take a chance this early, chat? I think we do. Just for fun. Let's try it. Survey says, all right, I had my reservations about when your counter proposal first arrived at my desk, but I'm happy to report I can still go along with this deal. On behalf of the Edmonton Oilers, I accept your changes. So we have traded Brian Little for Taylor Hall. So in our very first move as general manager, we've traded for Taylor Hall. Fantastic. So let's see what Carolina wants. They're offering us Sergei Samsonov. I believe he's 31 in this franchise, 80 overall. I'm going to stick with what we've got. Defense is definitely not our strong suit. So I'm going to decline that, and we'll hang up the phones. So that turned out better than I thought. Did not expect that. So we'll keep going with it. We will sim up to our pick, and we'll go ahead and make our pick here. Best available looks like it's going to be Corbin Baldwin. We've also got Alm, Rivers, Altalo. And so you see how the scouting works here. They've got different scores for different aspects of their game. Reddington was the kind of the standout player in the CHL game. And so we could go with him. Again, defense would be nice. But when Baldwin falls to you, he's a 6'5", 19-year-old defenseman. And the game seems to take a lot of interest in him. Let's go with Corbin Baldwin. He will be our first-round pick, so we will take him. We will sim again to our next pick. We have the 24th pick in the draft now. So Reddington went 17th to Colorado. Now, like I said, that's who our scout wanted, but we decided to go in a different direction. We've got Tommy Hughes available, and then Scarabelli. And I think what we'll do is for this one, because we didn't get a lot of scouting done in this one, let's go with basically best available. Goaltenders, not so great. It doesn't look like there's a lot of great goalies in this draft. Let's change this. So Todd Matthews, Bosch, Wright. Yeah, there's not a lot of great choices here. So let's not worry about a goaltender now. Let's go ahead and go with best available. We'll resort this. So we'll go with Scarabelli. He's a left winger. We'll draft him. And we'll quick sim through the rest of this one. We'll continue. Now, we don't have a pick until the end of the second round, but as you can see there, we did acquire Taylor Hall from the Edmonton Oilers for Brian Little. And I think we can deal with that. We've got 2 trade proposals going into the second round. Detroit's calling us. They are offering us, Johan Franzen and Tomas Holmstrom for Valabek, Brent Sopel, and Eric Bolton. And again, so I don't want to give up 2 defensemen. Wouldn't mind having Franzen. He's actually still pretty good in this game. He's an 83. He'd be a good kind of a second, third line guy. Actually, for the Thrashers, he might be a first liner. And then Tomas Holmstrom, again, at 37. Not really the play we want to do here. We're trying to get younger, not older. We've already got we've already got Brent Sopel and Eric Bolton in their 30s as well. So we are going to hang on to them and just stick with it. So we'll decline that trade. So we'll answer this call from Carolina, and I probably, okay, so they're offering us Jussi Jokinen for the same players, Vlahovic and Bolton. We're going to decline this one as well. All right, so we didn't take either of those draft offers, so we'll go ahead and get out of this round. We'll shut down the phones and move back into the draft. And we will go ahead and quick sim to our pick, and we'll go ahead and grab a guy here. Let's see. Again, we'll just take best available. And it looks like this one's going to be Simo Pekka Ricola. We'll sign him. We'll draft him. And again, for this draft, because it's our very first one, we are just going to take best available. We'll continue. I don't expect too many trade offers here. Surprisingly, Edmonton wants to work with us again. They still want Oduya, Vlahovic, and Bolton, or Dustin Penner and Curtis Foster. Again, I'm going to have to decline on these only because I don't want to give up defensemen. No matter how mediocre they might be, we need them. So I don't want to make too many big moves here. And let's see what Toronto wants. They want to offer us Brett Lebda. Now, for those of you who know me, I'm a Detroit Red Wings fan, and I'm going to tell you right now, Brett Lebda is someone you wouldn't trade a bag of pucks for. Absolutely not. So we're going to decline that trade. We'll move into the third round, and we'll quick sim to our pick. And again, just taking best available. We've got a defenseman here, 6 foot. Anybody else that sticks out? Not really. Could take Alexi Laxo, but, well, you know what? No, you know what? They've got high interest in him, so we'll take Kruzik, and we'll sim through this one. We'll continue again. I should. Oh no, they're still getting trade offers. I didn't think we would get more trade offers. I'm always going to take a look at them, even if they're not any good. Obviously, Vlahovic and Sopel are on our trade block, which I will remove them at some point. But yeah, I'm going to decline that trade. So shut down the phones. We'll get back to this one. Get to the 11th pick in this round. And we are going to grab, I'm just going to run through these picks real quick. Looks like a lot of generated names. Got some few real players in here, but there's a lot of generated names. I'm just kind of looking for any names we might have recognized. Cody Lindsay, not one that sticks out to me. Not one that sticks out to me. Yeah, let's go ahead and stick with Ryan Button for this one. Again, this is kind of a defensive-heavy draft, so we're going to take another defensive player here. Got 2 picks in this round. No trade offers this round. Not going to go with any. We're pretty much done trading. Didn't really expect to get Taylor Hall, but I'm pretty happy that we did. Go ahead and grab probably Jordan Moore here. Looks like he's the best of the bunch again, so we'll roll with him. And again, because we didn't do scouting, I'm not going to worry about who we get. So at least not now, and we'll hopefully one of these guys works out. So we'll grab Benjamin Antonetti with this pick, and we will sim through the 6th round. And again, I want to make sure you guys see all these. So, all right. So now we get offered Carl Gunnarsson and Jeff Finger for Jim Slater, our 2nd round pick next season's draft, and again for Bolton. So again, it wouldn't be. I kind of like this Gunnarsson. I kind of would like to get Carl Gunnarsson again, just to kind of build up that defensive depth for Jeff Finger. Doesn't do a lot for me, but again, you know what? I just can't do it. I'm just not interested right now. I want to see what this team is before we start making big moves. The Taylor Hall one, like I said, was just something that kind of was like, hey, let's give it a shot, and we went with it. So pretty cool that we actually be able to pull that off. So we'll go ahead and get through this draft. Get through this rest of this one. We'll take a pick here. And we're going to take, well, let's go with Dmitry Korolyuk here. Again, 7th round, so kind of an irrelevant pick. They usually don't pan out, but who knows. So let's go ahead and get to re-signing our players. And we earned our rookie GM. All right, fantastic. It took you 4 days to earn your stripes as a GM, which is pretty good. I'm expecting big things from you as you progress towards a pro. Gee whiz, thanks. And if you're ever wondering what this looks like, there we get a little silver plaque. Good for us. Hot diggity dog. I know, big celebration. Keep to do. But our GM rep has dropped. You'll have less phones for negotiations now. Fantastic. So we did better, but I guess we did worse. Fantastic. Interesting. Okay. Well, we'll try and get our GM score up. I don't know why it went down. I guess we didn't make enough trades, or they didn't like the fact that we traded for Taylor Hall, which why the game would not like us for taking a number 1 overall pick is beyond me, but okay. So let's get into the re-sign phase. Don't have to worry about it. We know what RFAs are. Let's see what we're working with here. Who do we need to get under contract? So Popovic, Grattan, Stapleton, Schubert are our UFAs. And then we've got a big group of RFAs. And Andrew Ladd is going to get a contract. Let's see if we can get him something decent. So he wants 1 year at $1.6 million. I want to see if we can get him at $2 million for just 2 years, for just a little under $2 million. Maybe for 1.9. Would be nice to get him locked down for at least an extra year. He does, I assume, if I remember correctly, he does pan out pretty well. So we'll see if we can get him under contract. If not, we will definitely qualify him. We will qualify probably Lehman, Bergfors, Danny. Let's see what we've got in terms of our draft picks. Ben Sherratt we're going to want to bring in. There's Ricola. For Mistrov, we're going to want to get a contract too. He's a 70 overall. We'll get him his entry-level contract offer out. Frederick Pedersen, Scarabelli, Antonetti, Klingberg. It's Carl Klingberg. Korolyuk. And let's go ahead and get Korolyuk a contract. Again, we'll try and start getting these guys into at least into the AHL system. And start working them in and see if we can get them to kind of grow to make the NHL team hopefully pretty quickly. So we'll sign a couple more contracts here. We'll send a couple out. Let's RFA. Let's get a couple guys qualified. Actually, before I move on, let's get, where did he go? Ben Sherratt. Yes. Got to get him in here. Should be able to get him. We're going to let go of a couple guys because I believe our roster is fairly full. So is there going to be a couple of guys that are going to be on pretty much on the cutting board? I'm looking at guys like, maybe not Schubert, but probably Stapleton and maybe Popovic. But let's get Schubert a contract because he is a UFA and he's an 80 overall, and we need that defensive skill because we are hurting for it. So we'll try and grab as many guys as we can. We will qualify Ben Eager. Actually, we may actually try to make a contract offer for him, but he's 26. He's a 79. Again, he's a third, fourth liner, so we'll try and keep him around. MacArthur, tender qualifying offer. Ladd, we already got a qualified offer out. We will also do the same for Scott Lehman, as well as I think Chad Denny's on his way out. Sorry, bud. Want to get some better players, and you're only a 74, and you're not that great. So let's grab a couple more guys here while we're in here and see who we can bring in, who might be worth it. We've already got a contract offer out to Vermistrov. Let's get one for Klingberg. Should accept that. Again, these are all entry-level contracts, so we're not going to worry too much about it. As I kind of go through here, we'll get Cody Sola contract. Try and develop as many of these guys as possible. So, you may know that we do a lot of Draft to Glory on the Deke Slayer channel. For those of you who aren't familiar, I'm primarily a Twitch streamer. And in Draft to Glory, we basically make no trades, no big free agent signings, and we do everything through the draft. So we're going to try and do a little of that here, but with trading and everything involved. So basically, you may see me kind of lean more towards developing draft picks, for example. So let's advance a day and see who we can get under contract and see who rejects it. We're going to have to get Andre Pavelec. Okay, we got our GM rep back up, so that's good. So we lost the phone and got the phone back. So we got Andrew Ladd back, so good. So we got him for 2 years. Schubert is in. Sherratt is in. Vermistrov rejected it because the roster is full. We can fix that. And these guys are rejecting because the roster is full. So we will get that done. So let me clear out some space here and get rid of some guys. So who's on their way out? Well, probably going to be Josh Grattan. Sorry, bud. I mean, you had a heck of a run, but yeah. Sorry, man. It's been real. So he'll take his walking papers. Who else are we getting rid of? We're going to have to dump a couple of RFAs, guys that just probably aren't going to work out. Bergfors, you're going to get tendered a qualifying offer for sure. We'll let, I think we're going to let Anthony Stewart walk. I don't want to get rid of too many guys, especially centers. But we'll make do. We'll just have to make do. Let's see how many centers we actually have under contract. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got 10 under contract, so it's not too bad. Not too bad. So as you can see, this takes a while to get through, but it's a good, it's good to kind of see where you're working with. In the first year, you always kind of have to take stock of what your team looks like and what works. So we'll get Permistrov another contract offer. Try and get him back in here. Let's also try and grab one of our better centers. I think we can organize that by... We cannot. Okay, I thought we could organize by center, unsigned and signed and RFAs and such, but looks like we can only do it by overall contract. So, let's take a look. We got Bergfors a contract. We qualified him anyway. Antonetti. Let's keep working our way through here. Remistrov has a contract offer. We'll get with the Soul. We have a lot of defensemen under contract. And we've got to trade them, we'll trade them, but hopefully we won't. Button. We'll negotiate a contract with, again, entry level. And then Pedersen as well, and then that'll probably do it. So it'll be pretty deep with young picks. So, and then Klingberg will probably try to get in if we can. Now, of course, next season, at the end of this season, look at all the contracts we've got kind of ending. So we'll probably get rid of a lot of guys that didn't really work in the system. And then we need to we're going to let Menino go. So we're not going to worry about him. We are going to get Pavelec a contract. A tender qualifying offer, so at least just in case he rejects it, I don't have to worry about losing him. He wants 3 years at 3.72. I'd like to keep him a little longer. He is going to become our starting goaltender. So I might offer him just a little bit more money for 4 years, just to see if we can, just to kind of lock out on that goalie position for a couple of years. We don't have to really worry about it because we've got plenty of goalies. And again, we've got Chris Mason's contract that we're stuck with. We'll probably throw him on the trade block. I don't think we're going to get anything for him, but it's worth a shot. To kind of finish this out, let's see what we have. Popovic. Again, I think we'll probably end up letting him walk as well as Stapleton. Just guys that, well, let's see if we can get Stapleton in on a short contract. I didn't mean to give him 2 years, but that's all right. Doesn't matter. And then Popovic will release him. Make him on the roster. So we will move ahead today. See what we can get in here. All right, Pavelec is in, so he did sign for the extra year, so we're good. We've got goaltending done. Stapleton accepted. Pedersen accepted. Vermistrov accepted. Soul accepted, and Ryan Button accepted. Cool. So we've got that squared away, and we've still got about $12 million in cap space, so we've got room to move around if we need to, so that's good. And Scarabelli. How many contracts do we have, actually? Let me go back to the main page. I want to see how many contracts we have. We've got 45 players under contract. I believe that does not include the RFAs. So let me take a look here and see what we've got in terms of qualified players. Looks like we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll have about we'll have one spot open. Looks like Ryland Cape is going to be the guy we're going to have to drop here. So we're going to let him go. Basically what we're doing, too, is we're also making room because we're going to try and re-sign Ilya Kovalchuk. I'm going to do my best to re-sign him and bring him in. I don't want to lose too many more unsigned guys, especially like Telegin and Lasso, but we may not have a choice. We may have to let some of these guys kind of walk out of here. Klingberg, definitely don't want to let him go if we can help it. That should leave us with one spot available on the team. So there we go. So let's jump ahead one more day. He should accept this contract. Yep, he's in. Done. All right. So we're looking good now. So that should give us 46. Yep. And then we've got... Take a look here at our contracts again. We'll jump back in. 46. 4 guys out. Okay. So we will see what we can do. So let's go ahead and jump into... I think we'll let a lot of these guys, we've got basically everybody that we wanted to get under contract. So that's good. If we have to make a trade to free up a roster spot to try and get Kovalchuk in, we will, of course, make that happen. But hopefully we won't have to do that. I'm hoping these RFAs will start accepting, but we will see. I'm going to go ahead and move on. I'm not too worried about some of these other picks that are sitting here, just because I don't think they're going to pan out to be anything that we really think they're going to be. Lasso... maybe, but he doesn't strike me as somebody who's going to be jumping out and taking over the team anytime soon. So, Korolyuk, yeah, probably somebody we should be looking at, but again, Well, I guess we may not have a choice here. So, nah, you know what? Let's keep going. These draft picks, this last draft didn't really excite me, so let's see what happens. Again, we have 46 contracts out. Let's see who we can get in. As we... All right, so we've made it to free agency. So Ilya Kovalchuk is available. Now he's the big steal, so he's the one we want. There are some great names out here, but Ilya Kovalchuk is going to be the guy we're going for. We have the money to make him the contract offer, but I would like to get him locked down a little longer. I mean, if we're going to get this guy in, he's 27 years old. He's a 91 overall. I'd like to get him in for 6 or 7. He wants 9.1 for 4 years. I'm going to offer him probably about 9.5. That's a little steep. Let's go with 9.4 for 7, just to see if he takes it. I'm worried that some teams are going to offer him something better, so I'm going to offer him 9.44. And so far, we are the only team that has reached out to him. Our backup option is going to be probably either O'Sullivan or Setaguchi. We're set at goaltender. I would like to try and grab Willie Mitchell if we can. Teemu Solani is available, and so is Paul Correa. So we could bring them back for one more run together. See what happens. But again, we'll jump out. We'll jump ahead a day or two. See how long it takes Ilya Kovalchuk to kind of make up his mind. Hopefully he won't reject our offer. My fear is that he'll sign with another team, so this is a big grab for us. But so far he's still there. And he rejected our offer, but our roster is full. So what I will do is, he is still out there, so I'm going to make a trade right now. I'm going to get rid of a player. So let me do this. Let's trade players. We're going to trade somebody for a draft pick. We're just going to throw something out there. Send it out of here. We'll send it to Chicago. And let's go for a draft pick. Say it's their 7th for somebody that doesn't have a lot of trade value. Let's go down the list here and see if we can just get rid of somebody. Again, we're just trying to get rid of a player so that we can make room in the roster. So we'll work our way down. Krog, maybe the move we make there. Teligan, sure. We're going to sign your offer, not to reduce offensive skills, surplus, not to add to it. All right, so Chicago doesn't want it. That's fine. So we'll find somebody. See if we can try Dallas. Perfect. All right, so we freed up a spot. So let's go ahead and grab Ilya Kovalchuk and try and make a move here. So we'll hang up the phone. Let's go to our free agency. Let's get him in here. So again, this is interesting. I really would like to get him longer. I'm going to see if he'll take longer. He still has no other teams interested in him, which is fine. But we are going to long-term contract him because he is just that good. We originally offered him 7 years at and he looks like he took it. So I'm going to offer him that similar contract again. Again, if you're going to lock down somebody for a long time. All right, so Ilya Kovalchuk still cannot join our team. So is he still available? Yes, he is. So we're going to make another roster move, which is fine. I will keep making roster moves until we can get him. We're going to figure something out. So let's get the phone out. Back to trading players. Again, we are looking for that top tier player, and he is it. Now, of course, we're going to have to keep an eye on Zach Bogosian and Kane and see what we can do there. But again, we're just looking to move guys out for space here. Probably guys who aren't really going to make the roster. So Bolton, probably going to move him out. Let's send him to... Actually, Anaheim didn't want to do anything, so we can send him to Vancouver. Let's just get him as far away from us as possible. And again, we're just looking for draft picks. See if we can get a 6th for him. They aren't in the market for a winger, so that's fine. We will find somebody who is... All right, so after what took a little longer than I expected it to, we finally got a trade for Jamie Seifers. This is one of the contracts we're going to move out. We sent him to Edmonton for another 7th rounder. So we're going to be loaded up at 7th round picks for a while. So we're good there. All right, so we're done there. So let's hang up the phone. Let's try and get this another contract offer out to Ilya Kovalchuk and see if we can get him. Again, I'm going to still offer him 6 years. Actually, I'll drop it a year just to be sure, in case we got to try and get out of that trade. In case we have to trade him at any point for whatever reason, be it cap or etc. But for right now, we need that star goal scorer. We need that superstar on this team. And let's offer him it again. And he only still has the one offer, and that's ours. So that's the good news. So we'll keep moving guys out until we sign him. Hopefully he doesn't wait too long to get back to us. All right, so finally, after all that, we got Ilya Kovalchuk under a contract. He is our star player. We have that first-line winger and a top-tier goal scorer as a part of the Atlanta Thrashers. Welcome back, Ilya. It's great to have you, bud. All right, I don't think we have any any space left. I would like to have grabbed a defenseman. Willie Mitchell would have been a solid option. I'm going to make a run for Andy Sutton just to kind of shore up that defense a little bit. Like I said, Andrei Pavelec will be our starting goaltender, and he's going to have a lot of room to grow. I don't think we'll go for any wingers. We could, for jokes, going after Teemu Selanne, but I don't think we want to add a 40-year-old right winger. So we've already got, we could use it. Let's see if we can make a run at him. He's 1 year, $500,000. I'm pretty sure the roster's full, but why not? And then we'll go ahead and get these lines situated. Again, we now have Taylor Hall joining us, so we'll go ahead and move forward. All right, so Sutton did decline. All right, so we're almost to the end of the off-season, and I've got to make one more move here. I need to get one more player under contract, and that's going to be Ben Eager and Bergfors. Still both need contracts. I believe Bergfors is going to be the guy we're going to go for here. So we will try to negotiate a contract with him. We have the cap space. He pretty much wants to clean us out for 1 year. And I'm willing to give it to him because he will make the NHL roster. Because, again, we're not that deep. If he rejects it, so be it. Worst case, we lose Ben Eager. Maybe somebody will try and tender an offer. So we'll see here. Are you accepted? So we are actually out of cap space at this point. Which is fine. So if somebody wants to offer Ben Eager a contract, we will be more than happy to take the picks. But right now, it looks like we'll go forward with the team that we have. And that's Ben's fault for not accepting that contract. So we'll stop the simulation. Let me show you guys the lines real quick. I'm kind of excited for this too. So let's go to coaching options. Edit lines. NHL. So Kovalchuk, Antropov, Bufflin. Bergfors, Peverly, Ladd. Now notice that Taylor Hall is not in this lineup. That's interesting. Where is Taylor? Is he in the minors? Maybe calling him up. Looks like he is in the minors. So let's go get him. We got to get Taylor Hall on this team. Absolutely no reason not to. So let's go to the AHL. And I don't see him here either. Interesting. Maybe we can't use him yet. Interesting. Well, I did not expect that. That's all right, though. Not a big deal. Just kind of make sure I'm not missing him. It's probably because he's under 20. That must be why, but that's okay. We can let him develop. Again, we've got the top line. Antropov, Bufflin, Kovalchuk. Kane's overplaying winger here. Don't know that I want to do that. And I don't think we can pick. There is Taylor Hall right there. All right, so we can bring him up. He's a 75 overall left winger. So we could let him sit in the minors, or we could bring him up and let him play over Bolton. But again, we've got kind of that tough line down here on the fourth line. I'd like to bring Kaner up. I'd like to move Kaner up to the second line. Flip him with Bergfors. There we go. Now you've got a power forward, two-way forward, and a sniper. Now I've got three snipers on every line, so I kind of like what we're doing there. So I guess we won't bring Taylor Hall into the NHL just yet. We'll instead keep him in the minors. But I really, there is a part of me that just says, you know what, forget it. Let Slater sit on the pine and just go get him. So let's see what we can do here. Make sure, again, he's not in the AHL team. And I don't think he is. So Anderson, Dole, Hunt sitting on the bench. Yeah, he's not here. Okay. Let's see what we got him. Yeah, let's not worry about it right now. So we'll let him, we'll leave him down. And if we want to bring him up, we absolutely can. If you guys want to move him up, we'll move him up. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you guys. There is a part of me that really does want to bring him up. But Nah, we'll let him develop a little bit. So let's get to the preseason, and we'll get into seeing what this team looks like. Again, Andre Pavelec should be our starting goaltender. I'll check that in just a moment. Once we get through the preseason, I'll switch to calendar mode, and then we'll just kind of work our way through the season. Like I said, I'm planning on making any big trades right now. Don't really think it's necessary. So we drop our first 2 games of the preseason, and let's see if we can get a win here in the preseason instead of dropping to 0-3. Looks like we are going to drop to 0-3. Interesting start, but it's a preseason, so not a big deal. So we actually did not win a game in the preseason. Interesting. Okay. He is expecting us, the owner is expecting us to make the conference semifinals this year. Thanks for the pressure. We went 0-4 in the preseason. Thanks. And great. All right. So let's see what our lines look like, see if there's any changes. Looks like we'll probably be sticking with the lines as is. Again, Peverly, not a great team. Again, we're kind of top line heavy, and then after that, it just kind of falls down. But Andrew Ladd is back in. Bergfors is in. So let's see what happens. We'll keep Krog on the bench. Is kind of the fill-in guy, which is fine. Our defense, Enstrom, Bogosian, Uduya, Schubert, Ron Hainsey, and Brent Sopel. Your goaltending looks like this. Andre Pavelec and Drew McIntyre. We'll keep Mason down in the minors, honestly. I don't think there's a reason to bring him up. So we'll keep him down there. And then we will, of course, let Taylor Hall continue to develop. So let's sim ahead here until we start getting some regular season games. Perfect. So I will switch back to calendar so you guys can see that. And what I will do is I will jump back. We'll sim the first month. So we'll start the season on the 8th. I will sim from October 8th to November 8th. And in the meantime, in between that, I will kind of get the scouting set up, and we'll get moving with that. So sit tight. We'll be right back. All right, so 1 month into the season, we aren't playing very well. We are 6-8-0 to start off. Not the start to the season we were hoping for, but Ilya Kovalchuk is putting the puck in the net. He's got 10 goals. Antropov is leading with assists. Bufflin is a +10, which is nice. Bolton has leading the team in penalty minutes with 32, and Andre Pavelec has 6 wins so far. So he has all 6 wins that this team's had. So definitely not the start to the season we wanted. I did the scouting, and I've also been working on trying to bump up a couple of stats here. I did bump up our amateur scout, and I'm going to do our assistant coach right now. And we'll try and see what we can do and make this team a little better. I'm not going to worry about the pro scout just yet. Amateur scout's the one I'm really interested in. But again, it's been a rough start to the season. So let's take a look at the stats for the league and for the team. So let's take a look here. So we've got team stats. Let's look at player stats for the season in the NHL. And we'll see who's leading the league in goals, assists, points, etc., as well as take a look at the goaltending. So for our team, Antropov is leading the way in points with 17. Looks like right after him is going to be Ilya Kovalchuk. Yeah, so actually I stand corrected. Ilya Kovalchuk leads the team in points, 10 goals, 9 assists. Antropov has 17. Bufflin has 17. Oduya has 11. Looking back at our goaltending, Pavelec, 6-7 with a 3.0 goals against average. I assume it's our backup goalie. Drew McIntyre is probably the one that's killing us, but I stand corrected. I guess it's not, because in 14 games, he has played all of them. So let's take a look at around the league real quick. And we'll sort by points. Sort by points. Getzlaf leads Anaheim. Kovalchuk, of course, leading us. Wheeler with 10. Tomas Vanek absolutely killing it in Buffalo with 23, 9 goals, 14 assists. Rene Bourque in Calgary with 17 points so far. Eric Stahl. Patty Kane with 18 in Chicago. Look how young he looks. Good gravy. Speaking of young, there's a young Paul Stastny. Ooh, Adam Foote. Unreal. Filatov leading in Columbus. Rick Nash, of course, still there. Brendan Morrow leading in Dallas. Valtteri Filppula leading in Detroit. Hemsky in Edmonton. And I'll keep rolling through here. Brian McCabe in Florida. Anze Kopitar in L.A. In Minnesota, Martin Havlet. Thomas Buchanan in Montreal. Dumont in Nashville. Zach Parise. John Tavares. Of course, it's weird seeing him again as an Islander. And then Marian Gaborik is the Rangers. So, Simon Gagne in Philly. Stempniak in Arizona. or at this time, Phoenix. Sidney Crosby, no surprise here, leading the Penguins. David Perron in St. Louis, Pavelski in San Jose, Downey in Tampa Bay, Grabowski in Toronto, Daniel Sedin in Vancouver, and Ovi leads the Washington Capitals. So overall in the NHL, your points leader is Tomas Vanek. Western Conference, it's Hemsky. And that's where we're at. So I'm going to keep this moving, and what we're going to do is we will go ahead and sim the next month. Again, if I make any trades or make any moves, I will, of course, let you guys know, and we will back in just a second. All right, so jumping ahead to December, we are now 13, 14, and 1. Again, we have continued to struggle. We actually went on a bit of a losing streak for a while, but we've kind of recovered nicely, winning 4 of our last 5, so that's been a nice recovery. Just to kind of take a look at our team, we have no injuries right now. We've got Ilya Kovalchuk, Dustin Byfuglien leading the way in goals and assists. So Ilya Kovalchuk, December, 19 goals. We kind of wish he had maybe a little more, but the team is continuing to struggle, and I believe a lot of that has to do with our defense. But I can show you again. Let's take a look at the lines real quick just to kind of see what it's looking like. Nobody's really grown. We've got Kane, Ladd, Heverly, White. Defense, and again, our defense is again pretty weak, so we could try to make a move for a defensive player, but again, we're a little tight on money, so we can't do a whole lot. And of course, we've got Pavelek, who's only an 80 overall, but he is getting a ton of ice time, so we will see if he can grow, and hopefully get him up to at least an 83, 84 by next season. But right now, this season's not looking so good. Let me take a look at the standings real quick. Team standings. So we are 19th in the league right now. Well, at least we're not last. Ottawa's dirt last at 9 and 17. So we need some work. We got to go on a bit of a tear here if we're going to try and get into the playoffs. Because right now, not so much. Yeah, we aren't going to make the playoffs right now. So if we can get on a bit of a win streak, we'll be okay. We could probably maybe limp into the playoffs, but right now, the last 2 months of hockey, we've been strictly a 500 team, just about. Can't really find a good streak, but we're starting to get on one now. I'm going to go ahead and keep going with this, and we will jump into the next month, and I will see you guys in January. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to January 2011. If I'd have told you at one point during this simulation we were actually 3 games over 500, would you have believed me? Well, I promise I'm telling you the truth. So we are 21, 21, and 2. Again, we just cannot get a streak of wins going. Every time we start getting on a bit of a streak, we get up to 3 games over 500, and then we lose 4 of our next 5. So it has been a bit of a struggle. So good thing is that Pavelek is actually starting to play better. Ilya in the last months only scored 7 goals. Sorry, Ilya, you got to carry the team, bud. No pressure, but we need you to carry the team. Just a real quick look at the stats and to see where we're at. Let's take a look at the Stats Central team standings. And now we are 13th in the league. So the good news is that we have moved up a couple of positions. We still aren't a playoff team in the slightest, but it could be a lot worse. It could be a whole lot worse. So we'll take it, and hopefully we can kind of continue to build on this. Just to kind of show you guys where we are in the Eastern Conference. We are currently, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. 7th in East. So actually, if I'm reading this right, are we in the playoffs? Are we in a playoff position? Well, maybe. Fortunately, it doesn't look like everybody in the East is all that good. So that's a plus for us. So we'll take that. The Southeast, we're actually in second place at 500. Washington is far and away ahead of us. The good news is that everybody else is worse than we are. So, but they've got 4 games. Carolina's got 4 games in hand. Florida's got 5, and Tampa's got 3, so they could catch us. We are just way ahead of everyone right now in terms of games played, so that's the rough part. But real quick, take a look at our AHL affiliate, the Chicago Wolves. They're actually not bad. They're actually pretty good, and I think that's because they have a really good goaltender down there in Mason. So we'll see if we can keep this going. I have not made any roster moves. It's mostly just been scouting. Like I said, again, we are mostly at the cap, so I can't do too much. But I did want to show you guys one thing, and I want to show you who we might be drafting. Just this guy right here, this nobody. Don't know who this guy is. You guys probably never heard of him, but we might draft him, depending on where we are. But yeah, I mean, I don't think he's any good, but he could be a decent goalie for us, so we'll see. All right, so I'm going to keep this sim going, and then we'll get up to trade deadline day, and then we'll kind of see if this team can make the playoffs. So sit tight, and we're going to go ahead and get back to it. Well, chat, look at that. Look at that record, 30-24-2. What a turnaround this team has had. We have been winning like crazy. Let's take a look at the stats of what's going on. We are killing it right now. This is exactly what we were waiting for. After going 500 for 3 months, we have finally blown the doors open, and we are starting to win games and become a winning team. This is definitely something I didn't expect. It's February 2011. Ilya Kovalchuk has 37 goals. Dustin Byfuglien has 43 assists. We're hoping Andrei Pavelec finally found his goaltending game. Let's take a look at the stats real quick. This is something that I'm really, really surprised about. Before we jump in any further, we are 10th in the league right now. Really quick jump over to the East. We are doing very, very well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are 6th in the conference right now. So we are definitely a playoff team at the moment. Take a look at the Southeast Division. We are in 2nd place. We have made up some headroom here. We caught up a little bit to Washington. I don't think we're going to catch them, but we're definitely getting better. So we're definitely happy there. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty tough to catch them. But I'm happy that we're not a million miles behind them. Now the other thing that scares me though is that Carolina's right on our tail with 60 points, so we're only 2 points ahead of them currently. So that makes me nervous. But right now we're 30-24, so we got to be feeling pretty good. Team stats look like this. Look. Obviously, we know who Ilya Kovalchuk. We know Ilya Kovalchuk's finally turned it on and is just blowing it open. So that's fantastic. Nick Antropov actually doing really well with 53 points. Let's take a look. Kovalchuk, Byfuglien with 62. Antropov with 53. Peverly with 43. That's a nice surprise. Vander Kane has 34 points. Johnny Oduya with 31. And yeah, nice way to spread it around, guys. Nice job. The top line obviously is killing it, but I do like to see that so many guys are doing very, very well and finally starting to move the puck around and get pucks in nets, especially Ilya Kovalchuk. He has been our star. And look at that, no penalty minutes. Unreal. This is kind of run through everybody else here. So Marco Sturm leading in Boston, Vanek. And instead of actually going through teams, I know it's fun to go through that, Anaheim. Let's look at the league as a whole real quick and see what we've got. So in the Eastern Conference, you've got Sidney Crosby absolutely killing it right now with 72 points. He's just ahead of Eric Stahl with 68. Of course, Ilya is in 3rd for us. Ovi, we're actually ahead of, which is nice. He's got 64. Byfuglien, Versteeg, Gagne, and Ruutu. In the Western Conference, you've got Brendan Morrow leading the way. Interesting, 64 points. Danny Heatley for the Sharks with 58 points. David Perron, Devin Setaguchi, Als Hemsky, Antoine Vermette, Ryan Getzlaf, and Nikita Filatov leading it for the West. So this has been great. This is a great turnaround for the team. Again, no trades have happened. I have not made any roster moves at all. Just kind of letting the team try to gel, if that's such a thing in this game. But it's been nice. So let me go back real quick. I want to look at the goaltending stats just to kind of see what they're looking like. So Pavelec is looking good. Looks like he's played just about every game. He's played 56 games. He is the workhorse. So he's 30-25, 91.6 save percentage, 1,600 shots against. He's got 5 shutouts on the season. And this boy is getting worked. So he is getting his starting job. Absolutely. So, again, let's get through March, get up to the trade deadline, and see where we're at. I'm going to jump back into the calendar, and we'll jump ahead here, and I will let you guys know where we're at. All right, Chad. We didn't get quite to the full month yet, but I do have some incredible news for you. During the month we've been simming, we've lost once. We have won every other game. So I'm going to jump in real quick. This is the trade deadline. I'm going to show you the stats. We are, I think, 38-24. We are not losing. We are winning like crazy. We are looking very, very, very good for the playoffs, which is a huge, huge, huge surprise. I'm not expecting any trade offers in the first couple of rounds. We might get something, but let's take a look. I'm just going to go ahead and keep shutting them down as long as we're not getting anything. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to get much. Looks like Sammy Lepisto is headed to Toronto in exchange for Carter Sjostrom. All right, interesting. And Mike Brown. Okay, so Toronto and Arizona made a trade. Looks like that's been about it. And, again, I'm not expecting much. Here come the last big round of trades. Billy Lino. Looks like he's headed to Nashville along with Nodal. And for a fifth from Philly, they're going to get Jordan Tutu and Marcel Gotch from Nashville. Liberté and a fourth. Not a bunch of not any big splashes here. No big splashes at the trade deadline. None needed. We'll go ahead and shut this down one more time. And again, no big trades. So again, the trade deadline, we didn't need to do much. We didn't need to. We're 38, 24, and 2. We have absolutely turned it on and are starting to tear it up. So let's go ahead and sim through this, and then we'll jump through to the stats and see where we're at and see who's absolutely tearing it up for us. So that's our first loss in a while, 38 and 25. Florida, we have surprisingly struggled against this season. I think we beat them once. So we're on a 2-game skid right now, but again, we're still sitting 12 games over 500, which you love to see. There, I said it. And I don't like saying that. Just look down there, see Sidney Crosby's injured. Ilya Kovalchuk has 42 goals so far in the season. Dustin Bufflin has 50 assists. Ilya's leading the plus-minus. Eric Bolton, though, with 137 penalty minutes. That's an issue. And Pavelec has 38 wins. Let's go ahead and take a look at our GM tracker. Or sorry, not our tracker, but let's look at... I actually have to do this through the phone. Staff upgrades. See if we have enough to upgrade anything. Not yet. I really want... I guess we could bump up our Pro Scout. Might as well. I really do want to start focusing on getting this Amateur Scout updated, but, you know, we'll focus on it as we go. I want to try and keep things as even as possible. So let's see here. We've got... Let's take a look at these stats. So we'll hang up the phone here, and we'll see what we can do. Let's see here. Stats... And we know where our team is, so we'll take a look real quick. We are up to 7th in the league, which is still fantastic. We are in the Southeast Conference. We are still in 2nd place, but we are on the heels of Washington now. We are within 4 points. We are within striking distance of 1st place, and we have a game in hand. So that is excellent. Very, very happy to see that. And we are well within a playoff position in the Eastern Conference. That's fantastic. Looks like Detroit, LA, and Calgary are your big Western Conference teams. Out in the Western Conference, looks like they're in pretty good shape. The worst team out there is going to be Chicago at 35 and 20, or 25 and 31. Interesting. Real quick in the East, the worst team out here is going to be, sorry, I'm in the wrong league. Western, entire league, Northeastern. There we go, Eastern Conference. Gee whiz. Worst team out here is going to be Ottawa, 21 and 37. So. Real quick to show you the points leaders in the NHL. And if there's anything you guys want to see or stuff I haven't shown, or if you want to see more of something, please do let me know in the comments below. This is my first go-around doing something like this, so if there's more you want to see, if there's more that I need to cover, please do let me know, and I'm happy to go through it. All right, so just a quick look at our team. Of course, we've got... Ilya Kovalchuk with 82 points. He's absolutely tearing it up for us. Dustin Bufflin, Andropov, Peverly, Kane, Oduya, Ladd, and Enstrom. Nice to see Ladd coming around. Getting better as we go. Getzlaf leading for Anaheim. Versteeg for Toronto, or excuse me, for the Northeast. Crosby, of course, who is just now injured. So let me just kind of run through these real quick. There we go. So I'll actually do this. So Ovechkin leads for Washington. Then you've got Raymond in Vancouver, Versteeg in Toronto, Downey in Tampa Bay, Heatley in San Jose, Perron in St. Louis, Crosby in Pittsburgh, Wojtek Wolski. Wow, there's a name I haven't heard in a while. Wojtek Wolski leading in Arizona. Okay. Simon Gagne leads in Philly. Milan Michalek leads in Ottawa. And then with the Rangers, you've got Marian Gaborik. No surprise there. John Tavares leads for the Islanders. Parise in New Jersey. David Legwand. Red Wings great David Legwand in Nashville. Brian Gianta in Montreal. Havlet in Minnesota. Frolov in L.A. Booth in Florida. Als Hemsky in Edmonton. Henrik Zetterberg in Detroit. Brendan Morrow in Dallas. Antoine Vermette in Columbus. Matt Duchene in Colorado. Patty Kane. Can't get over how young he looks in Chicago. Eric Stahl in Carolina. Jerome Ginla in Calgary. And Thomas Vanek in Buffalo. And Nathan Horton in Boston. And, of course, Ilya Kovalchuk for us, and back to Getzlaf. So there you go. There's your team leaders. I'm going to keep simming here, guys, and we're going to jump back into it. I will see you at the end of the season. All right, chat, we are back. We ended the season. Well, we were doing really, really well. We were on a long win streak, and we unfortunately ended the season on a 3-game losing streak, which is definitely a rough way to end it, but we are in the playoffs, which is fantastic. I'm very excited. I will do what I normally do on stream. where I will go through, we will watch the clinching games to see if we can get a win. But because this is YouTube, I will probably edit it so that it's just kind of the highlights, because the video is already pretty long right now. So let's get into it. Real quick, just to kind of show you the stats for the season, which was a real surprise. Of course, we finished pretty well in the conference. We ended up being 9th in the league. Let's look at the East real quick. We finished 5th in the East, which is fantastic. We will have to play Pittsburgh, unfortunately, so that's the rough part. They were pretty good, and they had our number for a good number of games during the regular season. So you're going to have Buffalo, the Islanders, Washington, Pittsburgh, us, Philly, Carolina, and the Rangers. So we've got the Thrashers back to the playoffs, and those are the things you absolutely love to see. There you go. You're welcome for that. So over in the West, you've got LA, Calgary, Detroit, Columbus, Minnesota, Anaheim, San Jose, Edmonton, all making the playoffs. So we have got quite the playoffs ahead of us here. So we'll go ahead and jump into it. I'm gonna not edit this part out. Just really quick to show you guys the player stats for the season. I'll just show you our team, the Thrashers, and see where we had. Ilya Kovalchuk absolutely was on fire for us during the season. Ended up with 100 points in the season, 54 goals, 46 assists. Bufflin had 89 points. He's going to have a nice bump in stats, I'm sure. He's an 84. Antropov had a nice bump, had 80 points. Peverly was 65. Vander Kane had a great season, 54 points. Oduya, Enstrom, and Ladd. So no big changes in the order of who had the most points. So other than that, very, very satisfied with how the team did. Real quick to take a look at the goaltending. Andrei Pavelec played in 82 games. He didn't mess around. Somehow managed to play. He played. Interesting. So he played in 82 games. Interesting. 2.64 goals against average. Finished the season 47-34. Pretty much played every season, every game during the season. I feel like either they had no trust in Drew McIntyre, or something's turned off somewhere. But either way, he went out there and killed it, and he bumped up to an 81. So I expect him to grow a little further in the off season. So let's go ahead and let's not mess around. Let's get into the playoffs, chat. I'm excited. Let's see what we can do. So I will switch to calendar. And we'll sim through games 1, 2, and 3, just in case something happens, whether we're going to get swept or they're going to get swept. Let's see what happens. Let's get the playoffs underway. The Thrashers are in the playoffs. So we'll get to game 1. Game 1 is going to be a loss, 5-1. Pittsburgh absolutely takes us through the ringer, and then we do the same to them. Series tied at 1. We now trail 2 games to 1, so we'll sim through game 4. That was a close one in game 3. Can we tie the series up, or are we in trouble? Well, I can't tell you yet because we have to do scouting. So let's do that real quick. I have not sent a scout here. Looks like I've not had a German scout all season. And this is where I mess up because the sort button on this screen is different from the one for stats, which is very frustrating. So it doesn't look like there's anybody here who's that great. So we won't worry about DEL. Spent some time in the United States here working on some of these guys, so we should have some guys here we can work with. So maybe you'll find a steal for us. Let's find out. We'll update that. Now let's get through our next game. So let's get through game 4. We are going to take and win. Okay, I was about to say no. So the series is tied at 2. Let's keep going. Game 5. We are going to be on the ropes. So let's sim up to game 6. We've got to take them 7. We will sim this game. We'll jump in if anything changes. So here we go. I will, of course, jump in. Pittsburgh jumps out to a 2-0 lead, and we are eliminated. So at the end of the series, Chad, that was a lot faster sim than I thought it was going to be. We are eliminated. Pittsburgh wins 6-3. I actually planned on jumping into that game, but I guess I'm not. So I'll have to worry about it next season. So we have been eliminated just like that. Boy, that's anticlimactic. I'm very sorry about that. So we'll sim ahead here a little bit. The AHL team's still in the playoffs. And here's our GM. He says, well, I have to admit, I'm impressed with the season and the playoffs. The Atlanta Thrashers had a good year when it's all said and done, and a large part of that is thanks to you. Well done. Well, thanks. Really wanted to see us in the playoffs, but, see what we look like. But it sucks we couldn't get any further. We did end up the season with a 47-33-2 record, and we lose in the first round to the Pittsburgh Penguins. So let's sim ahead here and see where this ends up and see who wins the Stanley Cup. And looks like it's going to be... Just kind of jumping through here. Let's kind of sim through it. Who's going to be the Cup champ? Who is it going to be? Boy, Minnesota feels like they've been making a run. Interesting. LA, too. All right, let's get our scouting done. and we're just going to kind of burn through this one. Let's send him to this one. Yeah, let's go here. Here, spend the next, however long it takes. Spend 3 weeks there. Fine, done, perfect. It's like I just want to see who wins the cup. All right, so good. Pittsburgh going on to the Stanley Cup Finals, so I'm not too upset that we're going to lose maybe to the eventual Stanley Cup champion. Not too upset. All right, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Wilkes-Barre has won the Calder Cup. Your Stanley Cup champion to wrap up this season is going to be, well, got to wait here. The Pittsburgh Penguins. So we lost to the eventual Stanley Cup champions. Can't be too upset about that. So, again, Chad, I apologize for not jumping into a game, but if there's something you want to see, again, this is our first run with this video. If there's stuff you want to see, if there's cuts we need to make, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please let me know. Hit a like on that one, and I hope you guys enjoy it. We'll be back here. I'm going to try and make this a weekly series. We'll try to do a little more gameplay, but for now, we got to the Atlanta Thrashers to the playoffs in a 47-win season, so very unexpected, and we'll absolutely take it. I'm looking forward to next season with free agency, the draft, and seeing what we can do. Until then, if you're interested in more NHL content, my name is DeekSlayer. I stream on twitch.tv/DeekSlayer during the week, and I look forward to seeing you guys there. Again, it's twitch.tv/DeekSlayer. I appreciate you guys. We'll catch you on stream or right back here at YouTube. Thanks again. We'll see you soon.